Welcome back to the Alamo Ranch Ward podcast. This is Sam Anderson, back again for another episode. This is episode 6 of our illustrious, amazing series of podcasts. With us today on the podcast is the illustrious, the incomparable Eli Anderson.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast, Eli. So we should say it's Thursday night at 9:30 at night. My commitment is to have a podcast episode out on Friday morning at 7 a.m. every week. And this is a lesson on procrastination and planning ahead. I did not plan ahead. I procrastinated. And hence, here we are at 9:26, Thursday, February 20th, doing something that's due at 7 a.m. on February 21st. What do you have to think about that?
I've learned my lesson.
Well, you've learned my lesson. This is me, my problem. And you're helping me solve my problem, so thank you. Have you ever done that? Have you ever procrastinated something to the last minute?
A lot.
Like when?
6th grade social studies.
Yeah, what happened in 6th grade?
I think it was 3rd or 4th quarter. I did a lot of things I wasn't supposed to, and I got very behind. And I did it all in like the last week.
This was Mr. Jimenez's class?
Yeah.
What did he write in your yearbook again?
No, that was
He's
Coach
not the
Bryant.
teacher that said, Dear Eli, less games, more work?
Yeah, that was Coach Bryant.
Coach Bryant, okay. This was social studies.
Yeah,
Okay.
not Texas history.
So you weren't playing games and that's why you got behind?
No, I was playing games. That's why I got behind.
Okay, but they just didn't write in your yearbook about it.
Actually, he might have. I can't remember.
Anyway, like father, like son. So Eli, tell me about your life. Tell us where you were born and how you came to be a member of the Alamo Ranch Ward.
So I was born in Dallas. I lived there for 3 years. Then I moved into the Alamo Ranch Ward.
Awesome. So you've been a member of the ward for how long?
8, 9 years, something like that.
Almost 11 years.
11 years?
Yeah, good. How old are you?
13.
Going to be 14, right?
Yeah.
We moved here when you were 3.
Yeah.
So was that math? Almost
Yeah.
11 years.
Almost 11.
Okay, just checking. Just making sure math is still mathing. Do you remember life in Dallas before we moved to San Antonio?
Only the pictures you've showed me.
Only pictures. What are the most salient memories from the pictures that we've shown you?
When I was getting babysitted by Uncle Ben and I was being chased by the dog.
Yeah.
Or that I was chasing the dog.
Is that why
around
you're
the
afraid
pool.
of dogs?
I'm not afraid of dogs. I'm afraid of cats.
Oh, okay.
I'm allergic to dogs.
You're allergic to dogs, but afraid of cats. Why are you afraid of cats?
I don't know. Like we were at my cousin's house, right? And there's one cat, right? They have like loads of cats, and it's just like put out their claws and then retracted them again, staring into my soul.
Really?
It was creepy.
How close were you to the cat?
Like 3 feet,
And
4 feet.
how did you see? Like you saw the claws come out? Was the cat trying to claw you? Like
No.
it was just threatening you.
Like yeah,
Just maniacally staring at you.
yeah, it was scary.
Wow. Okay, so you're scared of cats, but allergic to dogs. Not afraid of dogs. Uncle Ben had a horse dog, or what it was, a Great Dane, and you were 3. So I would imagine actually that the dog was larger than you in many ways, but probably taller than you and overall heavier than you. Do you remember that at all?
Nope.
No. Okay. All right. We should skip the Uncle Ben chapter for many reasons. Okay. So, what is your earliest memory of going to church? Who's the earliest primary teacher you remember in the Alamo Ranch Ward teaching you?
I had Sister Pillay.
Sunbeams.
Right? Sunbeams.
She was your sunbeam teacher.
Yeah, like when I go do the trash now, I always like stop by her room and she's like, "Oh, look, my little sunbeam has now grown taller than me." And I'm like, "Yep." And then I don't know if this is the same year, but then I also did that solo for Faith with the first verse.
Oh no, that you were like
Valiant? No, not Valiant.
you weren't baptized yet. It was I think before you were baptized, but you sang in the primary program once. You sang a little solo.
It's the best solo ever.
So you remember that?
Yeah.
Why do you remember that? You remember just because we made a big deal about it, or did you remember it because you felt a certain way about it, or?
Probably because you guys made a big deal about it.
Okay. All right. So you're 13. You just became a teacher this year in the Aaronic priesthood. So you've been a deacon for a couple of years. What have you learned from being an Aaronic priesthood holder in the church? What does it mean? Well, explain to somebody first. Explain to somebody like maybe they've never even heard of like what does that even mean? What's an Aaronic priesthood holder? So like to explain what does it mean to be a deacon or a teacher in the church?
It's a power to serve others.
There you go. So responsibility and authority to serve others. So what do you do as a deacon or a teacher, like in these offices of the Aaronic priesthood? How do you serve others?
Well, we learn to like serve each other kind of by giving lessons every other week.
Teaching each other in quorum meeting.
And then we sometimes like as a ward or like just a quorum, we sometimes just go out and do service.
Okay, for like members of the ward,
Or
helping people.
And then
Or community service. Have you ever done community service as a quorum activity? I
Yeah,
can't
it
remember
was-
the time we did community service.
it was sleep in heavenly peace.
Oh, that's right, building beds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we did that.
And then it's also like temple work. Like
Okay.
ever since I've been a deacon, we've done a lot of temple trips.
Yeah, so you got a temple recommend after you received the priesthood, and you were able to attend the temple and be baptized in the temple for people who've already gone before, for ancestors, right?
Yeah.
And that includes doing your own family history research, right?
Yes.
How does that work?
I go to Family Search, I click the Ordinance Ready button, and I get names.
Wow. That's like a miracle, isn't it? Okay, so of all those things you've done as a youth so far, what do you think has been like the most interesting or the most cool or the most has left an impression on you the most?
Camps, I think.
Oh, cool. Why?
Like the first year when it was just our ward, it was good because like I got to like interact with people besides deacons for the first time.
Like the older young men too?
Like, yeah, and then, it was fun. Learned some lessons, like to apply a whole bottle of sunscreen.
Oh, that's right. Tell them about that story. So what happened your first year of camp?
So it was the second to last day of camp, and we were at Lake.
That was the first day of camp because I wasn't there, remember?
No, okay, fine. First day of camp. And we were at the lake in Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
And so we went down, so we like did a team building exercise in the morning, and then we had lunch or something. And then we went down to the lake. Funny thing was, I played there. I had fun. A couple hours later, Dad comes in, right? Finally
I show up to camp because
coming.
I had to come late for some reason.
And he's like, Eli, have you looked at your shoulders? And I'm like, no. And he's like, you're sunburned like so bad. And so he gave me his little like floppy hat thing. And like I just sat there.
And we put sunscreen on at that point.
For the first time.
Yeah. So you had gone all day long with no sunscreen on in the very direct Texas sun.
Yeah.
And how bad was your sunburn?
It was a 2nd degree burn.
Yeah. So that means you had like
And
blisters.
So, yeah, when I came back home, right, I have gymnastics in the summer, right, in the mornings. But I had to miss like 3 days because I just had blisters all over my shoulders.
Couldn't move.
Yeah.
You were in a lot of pain.
Yeah, I remember I first noticed it, right? I woke up like at 3 a.m. maybe. And like it hurt to like put on and take off a shirt, right? So I just left my shirt on that night. And I went into the bathroom and I was like, I really want to see like why I'm hurting, right? And like I don't want to take it off because that hurts. So I cut it.
You cut your shirt off?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I just snipped up the shirt, right? And I just threw it away. And I was like, oh, because I just saw this like quarter, maybe like $1 coin sized blister on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's there.
Oh my goodness.
And so, yeah, I didn't have a great sleep after that.
So what did you learn from this experience?
1 bottle of sunscreen for every 5 seconds I'm outside.
Always wear sunscreen. Wonderful. Okay, so camps have been very memorable for you.
Yes.
This year is going to be your first year going to the For the Strength of Youth conference, too,
Yes.
which is, church camp for a whole week with boys and girls.
whatever.
So are you excited for that?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? You were thrilled for that. You've been asking about it for like 3 years.
I have.
Ever since they announced it.
Really?
Yeah, when you were deacon too, you would be like, Dad, how come I can't go? How come, when do I get to go? How come I don't get to go?
I do kind of remember
Oh my
that.
gosh, you put so much pressure on.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be fun, right? Like, I think it's gonna be cool to get away from the house. You know, go to whatever university it is. I think it's Trinity,
yeah.
that I'm going to, and you know,
Hang out.
hang out, learn about the gospel.
Yeah. Be with friends.
Yeah.
Let's talk about life. What do you do outside of school, outside of church?
So I might have said it earlier, but I do gymnastics. That's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Most Saturdays. Too.
Most Saturdays I have practice.
So how many hours a week are you in the gym on a standard week where you have gym every day?
16 to 20 hours.
Yeah, 16 to 20.
Depending
so
if I have a meet.
it's like a part-time job, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
And how long have you done that for? How long have you been involved in gymnastics?
This is my 7th or 8th year. Fun fact, actually, I don't even know if you know this. Coach Ben, my head coach, right? He started working at Powerhouse when I started coming to the gym.
Oh, the same year.
So like
when you had the classes, right? Because you usually start in a class.
Yeah.
And the class is like in 1 hour once a week, right? Or is
Depends.
it 1 hour twice a week or something like that? But it's
Depends.
usually just 1 hour. It's very short. And
Yeah,
you have
it's very fun.
a coach, and it's all about, just like learning some basics, and it's not really super serious, right?
Yeah. But then you get in like prep team if you want to. Then you start building skills for level 3, which is a competition level for our gym.
Okay, so remind people what is involved in men's gymnastics. What are the 6 events that compose men's gymnastics?
So in men's gymnastics, we have 6 events. We have the floor, the pommel horse, the rings, the vault, the P-bars, and the high bar.
Well, the funny thing is every single meet, you may start on a different event, but you always
Right.
rotate in the same order.
Yeah.
And so as long as you know what you're starting on, then if you memorize the Olympic order, always know what's coming next
Yeah.
for that. And they do that in the Olympics too, right?
Yeah.
That's why they call it Olympic order, because you always go in the same order. That was pretty obvious, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. So you've done this now a lot of years. Is it because your dad forced you to?
Probably the first couple of years, yeah. Well, okay, maybe not the first year, but then maybe after that I started to like not want to do it as much because of like I've been doing this, like let me do something else.
Well, there were like in that time you continued to play soccer, and you continued to play, like you tried some other sports and did some other things, right? And you were interested in those too. So why have you continued to do gymnastics this long? Like, what's appealing about it? Why what brings you back to like wanting to continue?
Well, it's all about like having good days, right? Because like there's always like that bad day where like, oh, I didn't do anything right today except for like one thing. You don't want to do it. Like I've had a lot of days where it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go tell my parents I want to quit, but like I've never have, or I might have, but they talked me out of it. But really, it's like focusing on the good days, and also the people. Like they're amazing.
Like your teammates and your coaches?
My team is amazing, and my coaches, right? They can be a little strict sometimes, but coaches have to be strict.
Yeah, that's how you get better, right? Mm-hmm. You always have somebody telling you what you're doing wrong.
Coach Vladimir.
Does that keep you humble? To like you always know like you can get better, and like always have to be listening to people telling you to improve and how you can improve?
Well, yeah. Like I've always like in competition, I've always been not first place. Like
It's hard to be first place.
yeah, it is. And like I see many of my teammates like get first, and I'm like, how do they do that? Like they're just like good, And like so like I've always been like at like in the middle, like not too good but not bad,
But you've also had some highlights, right?
Right. Like last week I got first on floor, which was like
At a really big, really difficult meet with lots of competitors from all over the United States.
yeah, it was like 40 states. No, it was like 36 states.
Yeah, and New Zealand.
And New Zealand, yeah. So that was like the first place that like I've had since like level 4 or level 3.
Yeah. Well, no, you've had a first place since then.
Oh, maybe vault.
Yeah, you used to medal all the time on vault. Like every meet you would medal
Well, yeah,
first or
but
second or third on vault.
Yeah, it was mostly
And
second
then like
place.
level 3 and level 4. So let's explain the levels to people.
Okay.
There's
So
gymnastics goes in levels, and so when you're a beginner, you start at level
3.
3.
It's weird. Yeah,
There's
I
no
know.
level 1. There's no level 2. You just start at level 3.
It's level 3.
Yeah.
And then you get to level, and so like you do a year, maybe 2 if you need it.
3, 4, 5.
And then it's 3,
6.
or 4, sorry.
Big jump from 4 to 5. A lot of new skills from 4 to 5.
And then you go to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then there's like elites, which is like Olympians, college level. But a major shift happens between 6 and 7 or 8. Most people don't go to 7.
You're in 7 right now.
Right.
So what's the change between 6 and 7?
So level 6 is the end of compulsory routines.
Which means you have to do the same routine. Everyone does the same routine.
Right. Except you can add bonuses, which are for extra points.
But you basically go to that meet, you see everybody in that level, everybody does the same routine, and they all get scored on that routine, plus bonuses.
Yes.
7, you start to get to do your own routines.
Yeah, it's called optional, which basically you get this binder called the Code of Points, which has every skill that gets credit, which is like A is 1/10, B is 2/10, C is 3/10, etc., all the way up to like I think. Yeah, you get to like make your own routines based on certain rules.
Yeah, and like what you're good
really
at too,
cool.
so it helps you like, play to your strengths. Awesome. So it's a really difficult sport. It's a really small sport too, right? Compared to
especially men's gymnastics.
Yeah.
Like women's gymnastics gets like all the big, red carpets and stuff, and we just get this like tiny area in the corner. Like our gym, right? It's like really big. It's pretty big compared to other gyms, right? We have like a lot of room, right, for class kids, and then we have areas for girls' gyms spread out across. And then we just have this one corner for men's area, men's area, which is like super compact. I mean, I like it.
It is the best corner of the gym, though.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's got the pit right there. It's got
the
big foam
tramps.
pits, the tramps. It's got everything you need to do what you need to do.
The fire exit.
If there was a fire in the gym, the boys would be the first ones out.
Make way.
Make way, boys, I gotta go. Yeah, way to think of others. Nice. Awesome. Okay, so we talked about gymnastics. Let's talk about school. So you go to Briscoe.
Yes.
What is like the number one thing about school people should know? Like if you're an old person, you haven't been in school for years and years, and you're like, what's school like these days? What's it like to go through the doors of Briscoe and like hang out?
Well, okay, so like it is like a step up, right, from elementary school.
Like step up in heart, like difficulty or like
Yes.
scariness or
Scariness, difficulty, and it can be pretty nerve-wracking to go. Once you find the right people, you find the right friends, start, hanging out. My 6th grade year, I don't think I talked to anyone except people in orchestra.
You had your friends that came over from Morelos, though.
Yeah, but they were always in different classes.
Oh, that's right, because you guys were all on different
Yeah.
schedules. That's the other part, is you're switching classes. You have different groups of kids in each class. That's a new thing, right?
So, yeah, it definitely gives a lot of opportunity to meet new people, make new friends.
But now you've been 6th, 7th, 8th grade. You're used to switching classes. You're used to having this group of people, and you know more people at the school.
Yeah.
So you recognize people between classes, and so that's socially been a little more
Easier.
to adapt to, easier.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is school like really a strict place? Like they have a lot of rules and like you have to kind of toe the line, or is it like kind of free and you can do whatever you want to do?
Well, they have their specific rules like gum and phones, like bathroom rules and stuff like that. But like as long as you follow those rules, they usually let things slide. Okay. Like the teachers at Briscoe are pretty cool.
Okay. Who's your favorite teacher?
Oh, that's really hard.
None of them are listening, so it doesn't matter.
Mr. Ritchie, which is my U.S. history teacher this year. Miss Garza, which was my science teacher last year and this year.
Mr. Z?
Oh yeah, Mr. Z, who is the STEM and engineering teacher. He's super cool, super nice. He knows how to get kids who struggle to pay attention, which is really cool.
I had a chemistry teacher in high school who he was the same way. He was pretty cool, and he knew how to get people to pay attention. The way he did that was by blowing stuff up in the classroom. because he was a chemistry teacher.
Right.
So
So that's normal.
Yeah, so he would like light things on fire. Like to start the class off, he'd like put some manganese on the desk and like light it on fire. He'd be like, "Don't look directly into the flame," and he'd like hold his hand over it. But his name was Mr. Page. He was awesome. Let's go back to church stuff. Let's talk about your faith. Like if you had to pick something and that you feel like you have a strong testimony of that thing, or you've had like a strong experience in something, what would you pick?
I would tell them that Jesus Christ and Heavenly Father are always there, because I was like 8 or 9 maybe, and I lost my watch.
You thought it looked cool. It was giant. Yeah. It was before like real smartwatches.
Yeah.
Were out.
It was before like I got like actual technology.
Yeah.
But
it was this cool little watch, right?
Yeah, like as a 9-year-old or 8-year-old, I was like, dang, this is really cool. I'm gonna show all my friends, And so I lost it. And so like I spent maybe a week looking around the house. Though technically it was only like a couple hours because of gym. But so like I've looked everywhere, right? I can't find it. I checked the car. I don't know why, but I checked the car. And I'm like, you know what? Let's practice what I learned in primary, right? Let's start praying. And maybe Jesus Christ or Heavenly Father will tell me where it is. So I pray. And I've heard a lot of things about real intent, right? During prayer. I think that's the most real intent I've ever said I've ever had in a prayer. Because, like, I love that thing.
What do you mean by real intent?
I can't remember who said it, but someone said, like, as a kid, real intent is, like, really wanting something.
Mm-hmm. Like you truly want it in your heart.
Yes.
You're not just asking to ask or saying to say it. It's like something you feel deeply.
Right. So I prayed, like asking, like, can I know where my watch is? Like, I really want it. I like it a lot. It would, like, mean a lot to me if I got it back. And then in my head, a thought came where I had my hand holding my watch, and I hid it in this drawer. So we have like in front of our garage door we have this like bench, and on the two sides of the bench we have like
little cubbies,
little cubbies, right? And it was in there. I never checked there. So I opened it. There it was. I had it back. Okay. This is not the last part though. Oh. Maybe last year I lost my wallet. Searched for, I don't know, week, 2 weeks. Maybe. And so I was like, you know what, let's try again. Let's try and like do what I did with the watch. So I prayed. It didn't feel like when I lost the watch. And so like a thought didn't immediately come to me. It was slow. I thought it was slow. So like a week later, Evie, she comes with my gym backpack and says, here, take all the stuff out. I'm going to wash it. Because it's so chalky and messy.
So dirty.
And so I'm like, okay. I like shake it out. And my wallets, I checked in my backpack, right? And my wallet's in the deepest pocket, right? So it showed me that God has his own time for his things. And also, like, I thought he like kind of left.
You know what stands out to me from those experiences you shared? Thank you, by the way, for sharing those experiences. That's awesome. You know what stands out to me when you were sharing that? I thought, that watch is like long gone.
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
We have no idea where the watch is. Like it didn't stay important to you, right?
No.
For that long after it. But this experience that you had stayed with you for a lot longer, right? So sometimes maybe, just maybe, we have these kinds of experiences not because the watch is important, but because the experience of having the experience is important. And the experience is what's going to stay with you for longer in your life.
Right.
You ever think about it like that?
Kind of. Like, It's like the same thing with my baptism. Like, I can't remember, like, the exact details, but, like, the only thing I can remember, like, the feeling, right? Like, that's the only thing that stuck with me. It's really weird, but, like, I know it's okay weird.
That's awesome. Okay, last question. This is a bonus question. We can throw this one out if you don't like it.
Okay.
And this doesn't have to be about me. This is about you, okay?
Okay.
All right. So what is it like being the bishop's kid?
Okay, so it's kind of normal. Well,
it's been 4 years.
Once
You're
it
used
settles
to it.
in, like, it's normal. But, like, for like the first couple of weeks, I was like, huh? Like, where's Dad now? Usually, like, I wake up at like, 7:30 in the morning on Sundays, right? Dad's already awake, making breakfast, getting dressed, leaving for church for early meetings. And then, we go to church. Can't see Dad because I'm like on the opposite side of the
You guys always
pulpit.
sit where I can't see you. I
Yeah.
think that's strategic on Mom's part.
Yeah.
So she can't see me crying.
Like the first couple of weeks, it was like, wow, I'm the bishop's son. But then it's like, yeah, I'm the bishop's son. So.
Is there like pressure? Do you feel pressure?
Well,
or is it just like, it just sucks not to have my dad around as much?
A little bit of both. Like after the first couple of weeks, like people that I barely knew were like, oh, hey, Eli. And I'm like, hi.
Like people knew who you were?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm like, bishop's son thing. Like, people must know me because of my dad. And so, like, it kind of sunk in that, like, I'd be meeting a lot of new people.
Oh.
Right? And so, and I mean, I have. Because or not because of you being bishop.
It's also you getting older, right? I mean, because when I was called, you were 9
8,
and now
7.
you're 13,
Yeah.
right? So that's a big change in like life for you too.
Mm-hmm. But then after church, right, I would get home, eat some lunch, and then Dad would get home like 2 hours later, and I'm like, where have you been? Where have you been? And he's like, church meeting.
Yeah. Well, we used to have we used to have the tradition to like watch the Great British Baking Show after church.
Right.
And then Mom for a while started the tradition of like eating lunch after church in the treehouse. And I never got to do those things after I got called her.
It's okay.
Crying. Missing family traditions, right?
Yeah.
That's all right. We still get to hang out, right?
Yeah.
You don't miss me too much. As far as bishops go, I'm not that busy.
Yeah, not really.
There are bishops that are way busier than me.
But then like Mondays and Tuesdays, sometimes you might have Tuesday meetings, but not often, like rarely. And then Wednesdays, we have activities, right? And you usually have to go a bit early.
But that's better now because you're participating in the activities. For
Right.
the first couple of years, you weren't a youth, right?
Right. And so
it was just me disappearing on you.
Yeah. But then sometimes you just stay after church for a bit.
Yeah.
And then, like today, you're just at the church doing meetings or something. While Mom picked me and Noah up from gym. So, it's a guessing game.
It's a guess. Like, where's Waldo?
Yeah. Where's my dad today?
Well, thanks for sharing me with other people. I think the other people who, I get to help as the bishop, I think they would probably say thank you to you for sharing me with them in some of those times where you don't get to have me.
Okay.
Any final thoughts, final words to end this podcast? No, let's tell everybody the harassment that I had to bear when we started this podcast.
Oh, okay. So during my dad's introduction podcast,
The first episode. The best episode.
No, I'm sorry. No. I've always made fun of him for like the way he said welcome, because he was like,
do it.
He was like, and welcome. Hang on, let me repeat.
Try it again. Yeah.
Okay, and welcome to the Alamo Ranch Board podcast. It was so funny. I'm like, is that Dad?
The abuse I had to endure from you children, all three of you, not just you.
Yeah, not just me.
Luke and Noah. But it told me in the moment, this is something special. Even my children pay attention to what I'm doing, and you guys don't pay attention to anything I do.
Besides when it's fun.
Besides when it makes me look like a goofball, and you can make fun of me for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Perfect. All right, just so we understand each other. All right. Well, thank you for being willing to be on my podcast.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're the best. Thanks for being my oldest son.
I know.
Thanks for letting us experiment on you.
Oh.
But, I also tell people that we put all of our best parenting into you so that you can parent the other two children. All right. Love you, pal.
Love you, Dad.